right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are playing Holler tonight. We are continuing our Blasted Beauty campaign. We are starting up a new act. We're down a Bert, but we will persevere nonetheless. And we will see a few things as everyone just got some advances, so we'll see what they got to do. They've also had like a week off, so we're gonna hear what they were doing in their off time. And then we'll kind of start in on the new act. It's a 10-act game. It's a 10-act campaign, and we're on Act 6, so we're beyond the halfway point now. So
somehow,
yeah, I don't know how, and we've only lost Dan's characters. So yeah, that's it. Just dance. Just dance. Oh, Griffin,
multiple times.
Thank you. Okay, so why don't we do just like a quick intro of characters, then we'll dive in and kind of do like a little interlude downtime scene for everybody, and then we'll start. So Chuck, tell us who you're playing.
God, did I forget the voice? Double D. No, I got it right there. It's right there. I got it. Double D. I'm gonna go Cletus. Brother Cletus. Great.
Yeah, that'll do. Did you see the did you see the thumbnail we put on the last episode? It was.
We'll go look at it right now.
It was Tracy's idea. I remember it was like some sort of nonsense. It was like blah blah blah, like whatever, some sort of double D nonsense. It's so good. It cracked me up. All right, next up, Dan, tell us about your character.
I just want to say that those sounds were made like live in the game. So I mean, however you translate that, put it on the title for Chuck's character.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm playing a Doggant who somehow survived combat, because it wasn't really combat. It's probably why, but
it's true. I want to get to the point where everyone's got like a something. Your dogs that used to be Cletus because it used to be Yeetus, but your dogs. So
yeah, I might have to have I don't know, some sort of bubbly sound or something like that for the alcohol wizard.
We'll see. It could also. I think that was pretty good. Since
that might work too. Yeah, that checks out just for my characters at large, I think.
There we go. All right, next up, Jeremy, tell us about Cletus.
Yeah, man, I'm Cletus. I'm Double D's big little brother. And, we did our last mission all clandestine, with like half the explosions we expected. And we didn't have to kill no dogs, and that was great.
That's true. Yeah, you didn't have to kill any dogs. We had Fenrir's, a pack of Fenrir's, and everything worked out pretty well for everybody, but poor Fergus Dugan. Other than that, I think everything worked out for stuff. All right, next up, Melissa, tell us about Louisa.
Louisa is our holy roller. She thought last time that maybe we were going up there and then retreating, and that was not what happened. But she had to do so much making people better that she got better at doing that.
Nice, very nice.
That's what she does.
Very cool. So yeah, I guess we'll do like a little interlude scene. Everyone will say what you've been doing for the past week, and then we'll kind of go over like what you got for your advances too. Since we did just get a new advance, so we'll go over that in a minute. But why don't we go ahead and introduce Amian first? Joe, tell us about Amian.
Hi, Joe playing Amian, and tonight we don't have Joe, so I won't get too confused, hopefully. And yeah, Amian kid, recently adopted into the Cletus and Double D family. And I wasn't here last session, so I've been scrambling to do an advance. Because we got one last session, you said?
Yeah, we finished an act, so you get an advance. Yeah.
I think I didn't do my stat one last time, so seeing as I've been doing a lot of strength-related stuff, I figured it would be fitting to get that. Okay. So I went from a D4 to a D6 strength.
Nice. Well, I mean, you've had several moments of feats of strength, I should say, throughout the course of the adventure. Like you actually have, you helped Cletus. I think it was Cletus that one time, or was it Cletus?
Yeah, I pulled Cletus out of a river and Louisa out of out of quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah,
Totally
both of
makes
which
sense.
I should not have been able to do with my
With your
D4
D4.
strength
not at all.
I mean,
and my D4 athletics. So,
and you just got powerful glutes. It's okay. You know how to squat down.
yeah.
Yeah. You're a teen, so you're coming into your own. Maybe you're going through like a growth spurt or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Probably that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. So, you're working out. Okay. So that's right. I totally forgot you weren't here last time. So last time we finished up the Cherry Bounce mission. So you were on a mission last time to the Ghost Ridge Mountains. We were looking to help Amos Mulholland, who is a renowned moonshiner within the Holler. And he has been dealing with this upstart moonshiner named Fergus Dugan, who you learned was backed by the big boys, who were looking to take down Amos, or at least like lessen his influence in some way. So you all kind of worked for Amos in a way, kind of doing a favor for hope for a future favor. You basically wrecked all of Dugan's stills as you went up the mountain. You discovered that he was using worker ghouls, like these basically zombies with these strange tech in their heads and stuff like that was causing them to just do the job. They didn't really seem violent or anything like that. And eventually you confronted the rival moonshiner like Fergus at his headquarters towards the top of Old Rag. You almost kind of bit off more than you can chew, because there were about 24 fighters and Kramer Holt agents, and they were there kind of waiting for you as they were tracking your explosions up the mountain. But when the dust settled, you did actually end up winning that fight. You scared a bunch of them away, or you beat a bunch of them up. You managed to get Fergus to Amos. I believe he was on a bear chain, a bear trap chain. You delivered him on something like that. And you not only did you deliver Fergus to Amos, which he was tickled about, you also convinced Amos to return the pack of Fenrir pups that he had stolen from Aladolf's pack. Aladolf being a Fenrir that you had spoke to earlier in the act, and Aladolf even agreed not to immediately mercy kill those pups because they were tainted by humans, and instead they promised to try to reintegrate them into the pack. And so that was it. So it was all around some bruises, stuff like that. But otherwise, it was pretty successful overall. And so we're gonna say you have you ventured back to the Hogback Hills, is basically where you kind of hanging out around Ashdown, which is a major town within the Hogback Hills. It's very centralized. Also, the Serpent Church, where you often meet with Ella, which was like your secondary meeting point. Is off in the hills to the east of Ashdown and its textile factories. And so I'm going to say you all have had, we'll call it a week between your time in the mountains, your time in the Ghost Ridge Mountains. So if you could, let's do a quick little interlude. Everyone just tell me something your character's been doing over the past week, whatever it is. Did you meet new friends, make new trouble, start new projects, etc.? What have you been doing, and what did you take for your advance if you haven't told us? So we can go in any order. So if someone's ready to go, just go.
Go ahead.
Mine's really easy because my two advances I'd picked up kind of on the way through this was to improve my moonshining and my gunfighting. So I figure I'm working on the moonshine, and the batches I don't like I use for target practice.
Okay. So if you've been doing this moonshining target practicing, have you been doing it around the hills?
I've been probably kind of out a little bit,
Okay. So if you've been doing like out and away, like, are you still within like the sort of the zone of the Hogback Hills, so to speak, or did you like move somewhere else?
Maybe kind of a little out. I know that the guns are kind of be on the down low with them.
Okay. So I would say most of your time is probably spent uneventfully. But if you're firing guns, even off in the distance, let's say roll high or low here, Dan. High or low?
Let's go high.
Okay. All right. Sorry, it's a 1. Of course it is. So,
of course it is.
Yeah. So I would say at some point when you're off in the hills, probably near Boss Cage or something like that, you're flying around one morning. You do kind of notice in the distance that there seem to be a group of figures kind of approaching your area, and they're all like looking around. in the distance. They're hiding in the trees, kind of looking around, kind of peeking over hills. Like you can tell that they're trying to be stealthy, but they appear to kind of be approaching the sounds of gunfire. What do you want to do about that?
This might be an opportunity to meet some people who could help us or not. So maybe kind of try and hide out and see what they look like.
All right, roll a stealth.
Sure, I'm really good at that. Perhaps I'm as good as they are.
Perhaps.
That's not horrible.
Okay, so you hide out. You find, you climb a tree or something like that on the hill, and you kind of look down, and you watch as probably about not quite a dozen people start moving through. But what you notice about them is kind of something right off the bat is a little strange. They're moving in a fairly like jerky, like sporadic steps here and there. Like they're not quite good at it, and they're sort of stumbling over each other. You can see a few of them are dressed what looks like they're miners. They got like a mining hat on with what looks to be like at one point was sort of an illuminated light at the front. One or two of them, it looks like they still have like a mining pick in their hands, and all of them are kind of coming down from sort of the soot stones to the north, the northeast. But you can see all of them are kind of moving and sort of shifting, and like they're kind of looking around. They're kind of curious. And when you see their exposed skin, you notice that they are not. There's something wrong with it. It looks like. It looks textured. It looks like it's suffered some damage, some trauma in some way. You see like little wounds and stuff are appearing here and there. One of them, like their hand looks completely mangled. And when their face kind of looks up around, like perhaps even into the tree, you notice that their lips are kind of missing. And all you see is like these crooked yellow teeth, a few of which are missing as well, kind of just staring around, and lifeless kind of white eyes.
Are these kind of like the same kind of like worker ghoul sort of thing?
Yeah, you would say that like the difference between the worker ghouls that you saw up on Old Rag is they all just seemed to be like dedicated to working. They weren't kind of going. Everyone was kind of doing something very specific. These seemed to be more ambulatory and kind of free to move. So if you just wait around. Probably about 10 minutes pass of them just sort of looking around, sniffing the air, stuff like that. And then you see them just start to move away from your location. And you see like the storms and the storm clouds to the east begin to come up, and then a blight storm starts threatening to come in. But you see them kind of crest over a hill, kind of going in the southeasterly direction towards sunrise if you're looking at the map. So they're kind of going off in that direction. And they never spot you. You wait a little bit, and you're able to climb down without any issues.
I didn't say anything either.
No, there was no communication between any of them. It was just like a pack of them moving through.
Well, might be something to look into later, maybe.
Okay. All right. So
not by myself, at least.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. That's how I get to my next character.
And so maybe you take a break for the rest of the day. You come out the next day and you start continuing the practice, and everything's fine. Okay. Who would like to give me another little interlude about what they've been doing the past week?
My knees are right here.
Double D.
I know because of martial arts, martial warrior.
He took the martial warrior feat. Is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just me and Blade is out in the woods. Shadow boxing trees, getting good. I love poems for that one lady. Want to try to wife me?
You're gonna make sure no one's trying to wife you, or you're looking for the one who tried to wife you?
No. Writing love poems.
Okay. Okay. I didn't even know you were illiterate. Okay.
Just, writing with my fist. Rose and red, pap, pap, violets and blue, pap, pap. I like you, lady, pap, pap. What do you do?
What do you do?
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
It may have been helping him a little bit.
You're welcome.
Okay. So you know what? So are you outside of town, or are you in town? Okay. I know. I did think words were for nerds, Steven. That's right. Okay. So you're out there. Are you saying these out loud? Or are you writing them down?
Well, it ain't writing so good. I was saying it out loud.
Okay. So high or low?
High. Like cholesterol.
Man, I am rolling terribly tonight. That's my second one already.
Oh no.
Let's get these out of the way. Okay. So as you're out there, you've got like this sort of this dark green hill. You're sitting down somewhere and you're kind of speaking them out loud. You got Cletus off to the next of you, and you're saying these things out loud, and you hear a rustling in some of the high grass near you. What do you want to do?
She came back. Oh, run over. Lady came back.
So as you shout that out, you see like the shuffling sort of stops for a moment, and then you see a figure suddenly stand up within that high grass, very slowly at first, and it's got this sort of like pale blonde, platinum blonde kind of colored hair, like tightly wound into like a braid in the back. And you see what looks like this relatively old-looking woman, very slender. She's got very delicate features, though, here and there. But you notice as she stands up, she's about 3 feet tall. And as you look a little bit more closely at the face, you realize the face, it's almost bark-like. It's almost like, like wood. You see like wood grains and things like that, whorls, like these very intricate patterns. Go ahead and roll, I would say roll folklore or an occult. I guess you can do that too.
All right. Unskilled it is. Oh shit. Oh, I'm out of D6s.
Oh man, that must be good. I guess it's exploding here.
Hey. Hey, guy, I can't count no higher than that.
Okay.
11.
Okay. So you see this 3 foot tall, sort of human shape, but like but like wood skin, something like that. And they almost blend in kind of perfectly with this high grass kind of shrubbery that they're in. And you hear them say,
"Speak it again, please. It was beautiful."
Oh, yeah, you got it. Rose are red. Bap, bap. Violet's blue. Bap, bap. I forgot all the words. What you going to do?
Oh, well, perhaps you humans aren't as boring as I thought they were. You are very creative for a large, burly man.
Hey.
Who or what is your inspiration?
One lady I done met at that one place. She's a real nice, pretty like, gave me a flower crown.
You have a very thick accent, by the way. It's not easy to understand you.
It's fine. Southern.
okay, so she says, like after she's like thinking for a bit, she's like,
Have you ever been to the Faithful Mountains?
Nah.
No. You've not been to the Fairy Flats or to Midsummer, perhaps, where the strange children roam around.
I think so. I mean, is that where that one lady from?
One lady. There are many people from Midsummer. But they sit around and spew poetry and talk about beauty and put flowers in each other's hair.
Oh, hey, I want to give that must be it.
Would you like to go there?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like me to take you there now?
Yeah. Let me give it a go.
Goat. Ugh, goodness, horrible creature.
They're gonna look over towards like Cletus, who just
I can't trust no one. I ain't trust my goat.
I didn't say I didn't trust it. I said it was a horrible looking creature. Very malformed in the face.
You want to see a trick? It's got a mirror.
No. No reflections. None. No.
That's fine. I was just going to show you some buttons and say, look, it's you.
Well then, perhaps I won't take you after all. Goodbye.
Wait.
she
Come back.
starts to drift back into the shrubbery at this point, and you see just she again starts to blend into the grass.
Tackle.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and roll. Jesus. Go ahead and roll an athletics test.
All right, it's an 8.
Let me roll. Hang on. Let me get my die out. You rolled an 8? Oh, that's good.
So that is an 8 plus that number. It's a 14.
I'm rolling terribly. That's 2 2s. So you managed to tackle her, and you hear ah! And you are flopped down on top of a kind of this strange like fairy creature. Spriggan, maybe the name kind of pops into your head a little bit from somewhere, and you're not sure where.
Let me go. Let me go right now. Let me go this instant.
Nah. I didn't know what to do with you, so I want to take you a smarter person I know. I'm going to find Cletus.
Okay. So,
no.
So Cletus, where are you when he finds you?
Well, hell, man, there's that lady what's got the baby and all, and her husband's probably dead, zombified. We probably done smushed her husband's head, but I wouldn't know what it looks like to tell her. I feel a little bit bad about that, so I'm going to take some time, make sure she's set up as best I can. Like
Okay.
House is in good repair, got a fence up or some such to keep them stumbling idiots out.
Okay.
So I'm trying to help her get set up because we probably done smashed her husband's brains in.
Okay.
I'm a gentleman.
Are you escorting her back to like the hills or back to Holler, or are you leaving her because she was part of the Holler family or the Cole family?
I mean, it depends on what she wants to do. I'd like to take her back to her kin.
Okay.
Because, ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm pretty sure your husband ain't here no more. And I mean that in a permanent kind of sense.
Well, you wasn't much to begin with, so all right. You didn't say he's kind of a big fella, not like you. He's like skinny, but tall. With like rusted, kind of green, not green, reddish hair.
Well, tell you what, can he read, or does he know? Like, what if you left him a message in case he is alive and he makes it back here? You can tell him you went to your kin. Because right now, man, everything going crazy up there. I don't know if you heard all the poof and the boom and the bam and all that sort of stuff, but
I heard it. Hard not to hear it. That's for sure.
it's probably good for you to get out of here. And I hope I'm wrong, man. I'm dumb enough. I've been wrong like more than half the time.
All right. It'd be good to have a midwife or something before before the baby comes, I suppose. But I'll leave him a note or something. So you see, she scribbles something on like the table, and yeah, you take her back to Holler. You get her set up. You meet Fernan and Kern.
I'm awkwardly carrying the baby carriage we'll had Joe fix up.
Okay.
Just got that across my back, awkwardly stumbling behind her.
Okay.
So she's like, you didn't need to carry that with. Okay, never mind. You're a gentleman.
I gave a bottle of cherry bounce for this. I'm carrying it.
Okay, you can carry it. Big old goofballs. Now you got a wife. You connected. Got yourself a love interest.
I had one upon time, but it things don't always go the way you're supposed to, And then later on, I did wake up married once, not to a woman I wanted to be, but it just happened.
What happened to her?
She shot me.
She shot, but you're still technically wed. Then
I don't really know how that works.
Well, they need a divorce. I think you still breathe and she's still breathing. Y'all still married.
I did toss her off a cliff.
Well, okay, maybe she ain't breathing no more.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been wrong about a lot of things.
Fair enough. I'm just going to keep walking now. I'm going to get up a little bit further ahead, I think, and just, grease.
I don't respond well to being shot. That's all, man. I'm normally, like I said, a gentleman.
Oh, I'm just going to keep walking. How about that? I'm just going to keep on walking up there, and you keep on carrying that. And I tell you what, you look for dangers behind, I'll look for dangers up front. We got to be really quiet now, okay? We got to be really quiet, like stealthy, like. Got to creep.
Quiet's my middle name.
All right, so
I ain't got no middle name.
So yeah, you get her set up with Cole Holler. You actually probably run into Fernan and Vernon again, and they haven't seen you in some time. But eventually, you probably start working your way back to Ashdown. And we're gonna say at a certain point, you probably meet up. You guys probably have some kind of hovel in the hills north of Ashdown or something like that. And you come across and you see your brother Double D. How do you have the Spriggan bound? Like, do you have her bound, or do you just are you just constantly holding?
You're holding her. Got her by the back of the neck. Steady on weird little thing.
Okay. So Cletus, you come into the hovel that you share with Double D, and you see Double D holds up this 3 foot tall wooden woman.
I don't know what to do. Help.
Oh, Double D, why you bring her here?
Looking for you.
I don't know this asshole. This is on him.
It's rude.
Nah, man, I know him. That's my brother.
While you two are talking, you guys don't necessarily immediately notice, but she's kind of doing some things. She's chanted, and she's like, both of you make smarts rolls, please.
Oh god.
Actually, wait. Let me roll first. A thing. Oh god. Hey, exploded finally. At -2.
When we do a smarts roll, do we add the D6 on that as well?
Yeah. You still do the wild die.
Hey, we got the same smart score. Oh, I got 4 though.
Okay.
I get a 9 with a -2.
Oh my god.
Hang on. It's a 5 -2. It's I got a 3.
You got a 3? Okay.
3.
So, Cletus, you feel a little something kind of like you feel your head get a little foggy. Double D, your head just gets foggy, and you just like the let's just say you become extraordinarily confused mid-sentence. Cletus, you start to feel your head kind of get a little foggy yourself, but you kind of shake it off, and you look over and you realize she's casting a spell.
Man, come on. Could you stop that? Look, I done got punched in that spot a few times. That's why this ain't working out. I'm sorry that he's done whatever he's done. He probably doesn't even understand it. I don't even understand it.
Where the hell am I?
You are in a magical realm, a dream realm. This nice lady took us on a dream walk, but she's about to make us wake up. Bye-bye, nice dream lady.
You see her, she's like, you said it to her, and she's like crawling up the side of the wall, trying to crawl out the window.
Can I go?
Hey, thank you for the walk, lady. I'll catch you all later.
She looks over at Cletus.
Is that a yes?
Okay, I'm just gonna. And she climbs up onto the windowsill. She's looking out the window, and then she's just disappears.
Man, she done blessed you.
I'm tired though. I'll go take a nap.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She done took us into some sort of strange dream realm. You're going to wake up in the morning. You'll have had a vision of portents to come. This isn't reality. No, nutsack them.
I feel goddamn real yet, boy. Yeah.
Man, that demon woman from the woods.
Oh, God.
And at that point, the spell, the confusion spell probably fades at that point with the sudden influx of the nut pain. Okay. We'll say that's it for the Cletus Double D show. How about Louisa or Amian? What have you been doing this past week? Oh my god.
I think Amian's been doing like a training montage in the woods, just like lifting logs and running. And,
Rocky Four style.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. High or low?
High.
Okay, 5. All right. You know, once or twice you hear the sounds of other folks kind of moving past for different reasons. You kind of take a moment to step off to the side, see who's coming, and you realize it's just regular folk. Someone kind of leading what looks like they have a kind of a couple chickens under one arm, and then they look very kind of nervous when they spot you, and they kind of keep them to themselves, but they keep at a distance, and no one really threatening kind of comes by. You don't really ever get interrupted, so it's a relatively simple time for you. You notice that there are probably, over the course of the week, there were 2 times when like storms just rolled through the hills, kind of sweeping down from the mountains, like this huge blight storm that just kind of uprooted some of the trees. Lightning struck here and there. When you kind of get out the next day to look around, you find these small little divots or kind of craters in the ground. And everything, like all of the grass around it has just become this discolored rainbow effect, kind of spiraling outward from it. And, your hair kind of stands a little bit on end as you're standing nearby it. But otherwise, no, you managed to avoid any real trouble or complications.
All right.
All right. And then finally, Louisa.
So I'm kind of going off the trek where I come across something that's beneficial. So I'm wondering at some point if I could come across I'm thinking some kind of abandoned or half empty first aid kit type of a thing is what I'm looking for. Like something that would make sense. It's helping me improve my healing.
Sure, that's fine. There's plenty of kind of abandoned shacks and homes and things like that have long since, no one's lived in them for some time, or whoever's squatting has moved on. And, as you're kind of skirting around the hills to try to stay kind of under the radar and not kind of make too much of your presence known within Ashdown itself, you can probably find, as you're scrounging around one afternoon, you rip up the floorboards and you find a kind of a rusty old tin. Inside of it, you see some poultices and some wraps, each of them still in mostly good shape. That shouldn't be too difficult to find. High or low?
Low.
All right, you're good too, actually. You probably encounter some folks moving past here and there. If you're wandering around the hills, you kind of run into some folks coming down from Boss Cage into Ashdown or vice versa and returning, and you can see people who are likely factory workers. As you're passing by, you can kind of tell from some of the wounds that you're seeing. So similar to what we saw at the beginning of the campaign, people with fingers kind of mangled here and there, burns from some of the machinery within the textile mills. So you're able to kind of help them, those passersby out as you go. You do hear some stories, some kind of disturbing stories though, coming out of Boss Cage. About there's someone kind of the lawmen up there kind of rounding up a couple folks that were kind of accused of thieving and kind of joyriding one of these jalopies around the hills and just stringing them up. And they had a public hanging, and there's a lot of kind of unsettled folk as they kind of swing down from Boss Cage looking for work at one of the Ashdown mills instead.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, you don't really run into any major complications either.
And Bert is in chat, and he shared what Joe would be doing during his
continuing to practice his facial expressions in front of a mirror. Yeah. Okay, so we'll say that you all have managed to kind of go through that. You've done your week downtime. Eventually, you're fetched, either by LMA herself or by somebody she sends out. Maybe one of her kids comes running to find you. But eventually you are kind of herded back towards the Hogback Serpent Church. And when you arrive, you notice, first of all, she's still there. The the actual, the rows of chairs and whatnot and everything, like they're currently empty. That's not currently holding any kind of service. But you notice that the familiar faces of LMA and then like Reverend McSweeney, who's this is his church. But you notice a third face that is actually very familiar when you walk in, and you see like in the corner in the far back, Clarence Jones, moonshiner from Ashdown, who you all borrowed a jalopy from a couple weeks back. You see him in the corner. He and LMA are kind of having this like heated argument here and there. And it heated in the sense that like he is like not yelling, but you can very demonstratively talking, and she's kind of doing the I'm just going to be calm and nod my head and kind of thing going on. What do you all want to do?
Hi.
I'm going to wander over to LMA.
Okay.
What seems to have gotten the two of them going?
Okay. Well, LMA is one of the ones in the argument. So if you walk up, like you can see, okay, Clarence, they're here. We can go ahead and talk to them now. I'm sure they're going to be able to oblige you. Don't worry. They better be able to. They owe me. It's been weeks. Harley's probably on a slab somewhere. Probably already done something when we had a deal. I lent them a car and one of my jalopies, and they were supposed to get Harley out. Harley's still, where is he? I don't see him. It's been almost a month already. And she's like, okay, that's fine. We got a lead now. Okay, we got a lead. How y'all doing? Welcome. Y'all remember Mr. Jones over here, Mr. Jones?
No.
Oh, well, your kin was one of the folks, but dogging, this is Clarence Jones. Well, hey, both of you, you have something in common. You're both moonshiners. You both make the shine. He kind of looks over at Doggin. I never heard of you.
I ain't heard of you either.
Yeah, and he kind of gets taken aback. He's like,
yes, sir.
Living in a hole. Clarence Jones.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, I went back there.
We do apologize. It does seem that wherever we go, there is always something that needs our attention. We just finish up trying to avert one disaster, and there are 5 others that seem to need our attention, and then we try to solve one problem.
I don't need your whole life story. We made a deal. I lent you a jalopy. You went and you took it longer than you were supposed to take it for. When you brought it back, there were some scratches on it that weren't there when I gave it to all y'all. And then you never went and finished the second half of it, which is get my friend out of custody.
Sure. I do believe I overheard LMA here say that there is a actual lead that we might be able to follow on this here second part of our promise.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's fine. Say we're efforting, Clarence. Okay. Just because they weren't doing something doesn't mean that I didn't have folks out there looking for them. It's fine. We're gonna do right by Harley. Don't worry.
And I do need to remind you that there is some work under the hood that was done, and I do believe you will find that it is running well. And I understand that it's not a replacement for finding your friend. It's not the same thing, but we did effort to make sure that we made up for the tardiness of our return of your jalopy to your care.
Yeah, it is kind of running better now and more fuel
Joe
efficient. But that's not the point.
Things.
That's not the point. Point was, okay, jalopy might be running okay, but Harley, I think Harley's been in their custody for weeks. I mean, they could have done anything to him at this point. He could be. He's fine. Okay, listen, y'all. We got ourselves a situation where we can kind of kill a few birds with one stone here. Okay, because we heard some new intelligence. We thought Harley was up in Folsom. And that's where and that is where she says this like to Clarence, and that is where I've been focusing my communicative efforts here. But turns out, he was taking the old Bondurant Asylum over in Cussfoot Fens. Y'all familiar with it? Anybody who would like to, if you feel like it, just roll common knowledge if you want to see how much or what you know about it.
I'm all right.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Cool. All right. Anyone who passed, so I think that's what Amian passed.
Yep.
Anyone who passed, you would know the basics, like northern. It's in the cusp of defense, so the northern border. It's run by like the Bondurant family, which is one of the big boys' family, and specifically, you would probably know that it's sort of like the pet project or whatever, the charity project for Eloise Bondurant. Like that's kind of like she's the head of it. And she's like on the surface, it's there to help you poor folks, right? Help you poor folks with hysteria or any kind of strange gatherings you got in your head or social and liver disease or moral insanity or a host of other issues. That's on the surface. Louisa, you would know a little bit more. You would know that the truth of it is that that's kind of a load of hogwash, and pretty much folks are sent there that aren't sick at all. Sometimes it's just if you talk back to your supervisor or if you were just a little too sad and took a little too long grieving one of your loved ones after a mining accident or something like that, you might have got sent there for like misbehavior. And you would know that it's also probably a place where a lot of the Bondurant brain doctors and technomancers have rumored to be like experimenting on folks. And that's what you would be able to add to it, Louisa.
Well, that does add some urgency to what we're saying. I mean, people not saying things are that great over in the prison area, but that experiment that they're doing certainly adds some concern to this situation.
They're probably cut into his brain. That's what I'm trying to say. They're going to cut into his brain. They're going to take it all out and mix it up in the mud and shove it back in there, and he ain't going to be Harley no more.
No, man, actually, they take this weird little gold-looking thing, and then they put a miner hat on them. They put them work.
They do what now?
I don't see too. I mean, they take a little, they go crack it, and then they put the thing in there, and then you can put it back in, and then you go back to work.
They put something in his head so he can go back to work.
Yeah, one of these. I still got
Easy.
4.
What the hell is that? They kind of takes a look at it, and so you've got like one of the shims, right, that you took from the worker goals, and he's like looking at it, like they put that in his head, and it makes
your eyes glow.
Well, I don't see him here, and I don't see his eyes glowing, and he sure as hell ain't back to work.
We're just making sure that we share the information that we learned on the last job we were doing up in Cherry Mountain.
Nope.
That was
well, that's very kind of y'all. Okay, Clarence, as you can see, my people here are very capable. We've been looking into it. They know a lot. They got a lot of things they got to work on. Why don't you just go ahead and let me handle it, and I'll come find you once we get some answers for you. And you can see he's just sort of like staring over at Amy, and like they put that in his head, and then his eyes start to glow, and kind of, okay, LeMay. But this is it. This is the last chance, y'all. Last chance.
My first one? Sorry?
Yeah, I don't know you. He says again.
might it be a faster ride for us if we borrow that jalopy of yours again?
You would know, Louisa. You would know. You can't drive jalopies in the Cusford Fens. There's there's no road, so you're just driving swamp and stuff at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no bridges or anything like that going over Big Sandy, the river. So it's the best you could do would take you to the river, but then you would be leaving a jalopy like out in the middle of nowhere. So
Walking stick it is.
So he says goodbye, and he's like, help, da 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 da. But eventually, it's just you and Emily, and she lets out a big old sigh. He's just the most impossible man. He's just big and angry and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, Harley's just one of them stones. The other stone is getting Clarence off his back. I've been trying to borrow some jalopies from him a couple times with some of the other folk working with us, and he has been shutting us down left and right. So if we can get him back on our side, maybe we can start getting a little bit more help with the vehicular kind of situation we need. Anyhow, here's the other thing. So, any of y'all know Stormy Pickens? You ever heard of this fella?
Nah.
He rings a bell.
Joe might know. Like Character Joe, who's not here, he might know him because he's an explosives guy. And anybody who has spent time within the company or who has spent time kind of over by the Great Craggy Mountains and such.
Would we have heard anything about them when we were in the mining town?
Go ahead and let's do a retroactive, like some sort of, you can either do like a notice or a persuasion or something like that.
I've got the same on both. I'll do notice.
Yeah.
7.
Okay, so not quite a raise, but still a pass. You have probably heard the name because he has been sort of causing some trouble. Like, you all have been causing trouble, blowing some stuff up here and there, but he's been causing trouble too, because apparently this fella has been kind of blowing up some of these some like munitions depots. He kind of blew up a jalopy that had 2 Kramer Holt agents inside of it, a few other things like that. And so you probably heard some of these stories kind of going around when you were kind of talking with some of the folks up in the Sitstones. So Ella, like as you kind of go back and forth and sort of kind of go over that, she's kind of nodding her head and like, yeah, well, see, here's the thing that most folk don't realize is that up until, I don't know, a couple months back, old Stormy, he was a company man, and he had change of heart. 'Cause it can happen. He was working with the old them old folks up in the Stygians there, and he was doing this whole I'm not sure what the phrase is, but they were basically mountaintop removal, I think. They were setting up all sorts of explosives on the top of old Blasted Beauty there, and they were blowing it to clear the hell off, and it's supposed to make mining something better, but it is absolutely brutal to the environment and to all sorts of things. And, well, if you hear Stormy say it, he says just seeing it, what the devastation did to old Blasted Beauty was enough to kind of make him think twice about ever kind of working with the company guards again and big boys and whatnot. And so he has been making up for lost time, taking out infrastructure left and right, munition shacks, jalopies, prison transports. Shame of it is they got himself caught. He got a notorious loner, kind of works by himself and things, and doesn't really have anyone watching his back. And turns out we think he's in the asylum too. As you all know, I think old Mr. Pickins there could make a quality asset for us, someone with that kind of explosive expertise. You all are good, but he's better at that, at least. So if we could somehow get you all inside the asylum, you can get old Harley rights, we can check that box. Now we can get old Stormy Pickens and see if he wants to join the team.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So he seemed to be changing sides more because of what was happening to the environment and not like so much people.
Yeah, he's not what I would call a people person. He is he's not the most socially adept. He is ornery, I think is a fair word for him. But he'll help you out. And he's one of them fellas who can just sort of like, make a bomb out of, I don't know, like a old can of beans and a shoestring or something, and all of a sudden it explodes. I don't really know how he does it, but we could use that kind of ingenuity.
Man, Joe, get along as you good.
Yeah, I'm sure, Joe. Why is he looking at that mirror so? Joe, why are you looking at that mirror? He keeps.
It's all right.
He's fine. He's people practicing.
Is that a smile? Is he trying to smile? I can see his teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, he's got the whitest teeth I ever seen. He brushes them like 7 times a day.
They are pretty bright. I think they probably glow in the dark. Look at them things. Pearly.
I have to try it.
Yeah, they do. Well, anyhow, so the job, however you all want to get it done, which I would imagine is going to result in a fairly high body count, the attention of Kramer Holt agents, and a not insignificant number of company guards breathing down your asses on your way back here. Whatever tactic you want to take's fine with me. But y'all get over the Bondurant, get over Cussfoot, figure out what's going on inside there, and get our people out. How's that sound?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, be safe, be careful, And yeah, that's about it.
You as well. Hopefully we will see you again soon.
I hope so. That would be a shame if you didn't. But y'all have proven to be quite reliable at causing chaos. But you know what? Chaos is good.
We're
That's about all we're good at, I think.
results-driven group of folks, and not so much in the stealth. Hopefully, you've got other groups for the stealth.
You all definitely are good at causing me headaches, but you're even better at causing them big boys headaches, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Headaches and head bashing. One of the two, somewhere on that between A or B.
All right. Well, I'll see y'all. Be good. Be careful. Get your things, and
All right.
So you all kind of say your goodbyes, etc., etc. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before you set out on your travel?
Was Cussfoot Fens the place where that sinkhole was at?
Yep. That's that like from you're talking about from our
From like
the
way
Savage
back.
Tale, yeah, the Savage Tale we did, yeah. That was Almarine. I'll click on it for you if you're looking at the map. So that's where Cletus spent some time.
I mean, I don't know if there's much anybody left after, what happened, but if there was, they might be friendly to us.
Roll common knowledge. Let's see what you've heard. Take it easy, Bert.
It's 4.
So you know that the town is no more. It has the destruction after that demon Kano from the sinkhole explosion was total. Some folks have scattered here and there. Some of them have gone to Terrapin's Corner. Some of them have come over to Ashdown, Saxon, various other places here and there. And some of them are still there. They're just kind of scattered about, but you're not really sure. But you would know that the town's not still there. But there might be some folks scattered about.
Now, I remember they had them kind of a holy roller sorts, almost like you, Miss Louisa. They ain't likely there no more. They might have gone up to Terrapin, or I don't know. I ain't gone back that way for a spell. It was a real bad experience.
Sorry to hear that, but I think we could stop at Terrapin's Corner on our way. Perhaps gather some more local information, and maybe you can reunite with some of those folks.
Perhaps. Other than that, man, I'll tell you that place is just nasty. It's just bad news. Also, wrestling hogs don't work out so good. Don't wrestle a hog in the mud.
Well, after my recent incident with the quicksand, I can't say that I was looking to go into this muddy corner of our holler here, but I suppose that's where it takes us.
And also, now I'm not saying you're the type to kill nobody, but if you did kill somebody, don't go throwing people you killed into a sinkhole, because that just creates all sorts of problems.
I don't believe in my current state I am throwing anyone anywhere, but I appreciate. I suppose that means just don't poke them with a stick and roll them over either, because that might be a little more along the lines of what
Man, it's like
friends
that.
to do.
It's like the earth will just eat them up. It'll take all the bad energy and just eat it, and then just spew out a whole bunch of worse stuff.
Oh my! Wow. So just leave the things. I probably don't need to, but leave the things you kill where they were. Leave them.
Yeah, I tried to hide a whole bunch of stuff in that sinkhole. It went poorly.
Well, I am glad that you lived to tell the tale and lived to share this knowledge with us.
Okay, so is anybody else doing any kind of anything you need to do for prep before you guys head out?
I want to look for any information on the asylum. Like, I don't know if it's like in a mountain or like in a hill or if it's like fenced off, like just anything I can get about the terrain or the construction of it.
Sure. How do you want to go about doing that? Are you looking like to ask around? Is that all this is?
Yeah, just asking anyone in town that might know anything about it.
Yeah, you could just do like a
that's friendly with us.
General persuasion or some other social skill if you want.
Yeah. I'll do persuasion.
Okay.
$10.
Okay. So yeah, you would know that it is that basically the asylum is, it looks like almost like an old world castle. It's like a 3-story high, very big. And that it sits essentially on the fens. So it's not like on a mountain, or it's literally on the fens themselves. The ground is somewhat unstable. You know that it's kind of surrounded by peat farms and like kind of rancid cranberry bogs and like sump ponds and things like that. So the terrain is definitely like wet, sluggish, muddy, and it's also heavily populated by cryptids and demons. Okay. But you would also probably have a decent like idea, like judging from what you're getting. It's not too far off. Like basically, if you're looking at the Holler map there, you can see that the big sandy river is that big swooping river that kind of goes down from the soot stones. It's kind of right off that a little bit. You kind of have to cross over. And Terrapin's Corner, which is a place I think that you were invited to once by Bastian Bach a while back, which is sort of
okay.
Yeah, it's like the retirement home for people. That's where all the old people go to tell stories. And that's kind of on the other side of the river a ways. So that's kind of, you have a general idea of where to find it.
Is that river like travelable? And does it flow to the asylum or away from it?
So you all fell into it as you were going up to Marrow and the Sootstones. It's a silty river, and while it's swimmable at certain places, depends on where you cross. Like some places the current's not too strong. Some cases it is. Some cases it's very deep, and there's also things that swim in it. So you would know that in that area around Terrapin's Corner, it's specifically named for like these giant snapping turtles. These that are slow, but if they get angry, they can bite your hand clean off. So there's that.
And this certainly isn't a group that would ever make anyone angry.
Oh no.
But considering the area, they're the least of your troubles.
Mm-hmm. And with the river, does it like flow away from the asylum or towards? Like, would it be something we could ride into the area or something that we could escape on?
You could potentially escape on it, but you would be escaping like further away from Ashdown. The current would take you eastward, like further into the fens, as opposed to westward back to civilization.
Okay.
It's like the further east you
You'd have
go,
to, like, circle around a lot.
And like the deeper you go east into the fens, the less and less you're going to run into people, and the more and more you're going to run into all sorts of horrible dangers, and eventually you'll run into the otherness.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else doing anything preparatory wise before you head on out?
Nah.
Okay.
Good to go.
All right. So yeah, as you said, we're probably going on foot. Are you looking to go to Terrapin's Corner first? Was that the plan? Or are you looking to go look around Almarine? You guys can see, like if you look at the map, you can kind of see where they are. Like Almarine is there, where I'm clicking.
Where are we at right now?
You guys
are in the hills.
Yeah, you guys are basically just outside Ashdown.
Okay.
It's a couple days. It's probably be like 2 days worth of travel on foot.
At least kind of on the way to where we're going. So
Good.
I
mean,
we'll go Almarine.
Almarine.
Then
go up
Terrapin's
to
Corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question asked and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. God, so sometimes I just have no idea what you said. I thought you said you had a question to ask, and I was like,
No, we got Almarine. We ask all the questions there because people know he's in the area.
okay. All right. So you guys head out. Why don't let's see. High or low, Dan?
Well, let's go low this time so you can roll real high.
Roll to 3. You're good. All right. So
Hooray.
you guys head out on your way. You're kind of crossing over the Hogback Hills. You're keeping away from towns, I would say, near Ashdown. So you're keeping clear of Saxon. You're keeping clear of Sunrise. And you're kind of just heading in this sort of southeasternly direction away. The first day's travel will take you all the way to Big Sandy. And it's a relatively simple process to get out here. Like you're going over up and down hills. There's fog that's sweeping in, occasional crackling of lightning as a distant blight storm swoops down, but you guys are able to see it coming and kind of find cover along the way. But eventually you get to the western banks of the river, and I'll say anybody who wants to make a survival test if you've got it.
I have it.
Yeah, survival would do fine here.
6.
Okay, so Amian, you're on the western bank of Big Sandy. You know that somewhere on the eastern side of the river, like where the sort of the trees are kind of getting up, there's there's the remnants of Almarine and whoever might be scattered about. But it takes a little while, but eventually you find a narrow bend in the river that is swimmable if you wanted to swim. But otherwise, like there's no bridges, you don't see any docks or anything like that. Sort of up to you whether you want to just cross over like right on the narrow band, or if you want to kind of continue to walk kind of north and easternly around on the bend to kind of get up to Terrapin's Corner.
If I know this is like a narrow spot, we might try to just cross here.
Okay.
Let everyone know.
It works.
All right. Anybody who's crossing, who's swimming, go ahead and just roll an athletics test.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah, man. That sounds like a great idea.
I did. Last night.
Why do you have a -2?
Gosh.
Yeah. Why do you
Because,
have a minus? Do you not have athletics?
no, I have athletics, but
You
I
have a
also...
-2 to like everything you're rolling.
Why do I have...
tonight,
Why
so-
do I
You have
have
wound penalty still?
No, he doesn't have any wounds. What's the -2 on your athletics for?
You have some sort of clumsy disadvantage. I know it's something
No,
-2
that
to
was my
stealth.
last character.
Oh, never mind. They all blend together. I'm sorry.
They do all blend together. That's true.
I
don't know why I have a -2 on that.
You have a phobia?
That was the snakes.
Yeah.
Like me.
Well, Cletus walks on water across.
It's true. Like a gentleman.
I got somehow Louisa, and like if I need to roll this differently, you can let me know. Me and my walking stick and failing health, I somehow rolled an 11.
No, it's fine.
I feel like I just like hold the walking stick out in front of
Yeah.
me, and someone just like follows me along.
Yeah.
So
Amian would probably offer to help.
Right.
who failed? Amian failed? No, Amian. he
I
passed.
failed and then I bennied and then I passed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I failed and bennied.
All right, so Doggint, just take a point of fatigue. That's all it is.
Yep.
You know,
Let me see.
a couple times you all feel a little bump along your feet as you swim across. The water is not nearly as like polluted as Drunkard's Creek from last week, but it's very silty, like it's very thick and it's very hard to see, and so you can't really see the bottom. And every now and then your feet touch what you think might be the bottom, but then something shuffles underneath you and you realize that wasn't the bottom. You just touched something that happens to be swimming around. A couple times you see like the current in the river suddenly sort of run horizontal to itself, and you see this tiny little movement of water perpendicular to the current suggests there's something swimming underneath it. But all of you managed to get across without anything popping out at you.
I just have it.
You
red
have
one
a
time down there.
-2.
Like,
Yeah, you you have a -2 modifier in your athletics and in your
Yeah.
stealth.
I don't know why that's there. It might have been from my previous character, and I forgot to take them off. So, oops.
No worries.
Are you supposed to also have that in your stealth?
No.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So you make it across the other side. And Cletus, you're familiar with the place. Like, you've been here before. So why don't you, I'll tell you what, roll like a survival just for trying to find your way back to Almarine. And take like a +2 on it.
Okay.
You've been here you've been here before, so it's just a matter of like time.
Okay, man. Does the 13 do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're traveling through, which is basically these gnarly looking trees with all sorts of these like kind of curling, like they almost look like old woman hands kind of coming up from the ground, reaching, and kind of like this arthritic bend to them at times. More than once you see, and Cletus, you're able to kind of point this out, like the familiar like owls that kind of sort of swoop around, some of them very, very large, and it's probably evening time when you finally get across. You also notice like your feet just start to sink more than once, like kind of into the mud. Mm-hmm. And then in the distance, like through the fog, which is becoming more and more thicker and thicker the further you go into the fens, you see like these little green lights kind of swooping around, like flickering and then disappearing.
Don't want none of that.
Cletus, you more than once hear the sounds of like these boar like shuffling around, and you see them kind of like tearing away at like these uprooted roots that are kind of curving around where these like mushrooms are growing on the side. But eventually, you hear Cletus the sound of a voice shouting out like, "Now get on down! I'll kill the Rudesack. I'll kill the rest of them. Get on down! Leave me alone! Get on down!" It's just like kind of screaming out in the distance, somewhere in the fog.
Does it seem to be like screaming at us?
No, just screaming at something else.
I mean, there's part of me wants to yell back to him. Part of me wants to, this is a unique situation, as in unique up on it, and get a good look.
Okay, go ahead.
Star.
Yeah, go ahead. Anybody wants to stealth, go ahead.
I'm definitely curious what this is.
Yeah, go on up there too. As it said that and that. All right. Oh, look. Well,
I will Benny that as well. 6.
then
Is anybody not sneaking up?
Louisa.
Okay. Doggin's not either. Okay, so the rest of you pass. What was the lowest roll? A 6? Is that right?
Yeah, I got a 6.
hey,
All right. So as those of you sneak up, you're moving like you're like kind of going down off this little raised portion of the earth where it's been relatively dry, and you can feel now the sudden sogginess. You see all these like gnarled roots and vegetation popping around here, and there are these strange like stones that are just like erupting up out of the ground. Some of them like kind of random carvings on them from who knows when. And that's when the three of you, as you kind of start to burst past some of this fog, you see a tree that's a little bit taller than the rest of them around, and you can see that there is a man that has climbed up it and is kind of clinging to a branch fairly high up. And you can see he's like one of his other arm is kind of limp on his side, and he's kind of clinging, and he's just like randomly like kicking with his foot, and he's like, "Get on down, you freaking crazy!" And when you look down, you can see that there are a group of people kind of swarming around the tree, at least maybe 6 or 7. The three of you can roll notice tests if you want to see a little bit more.
Ah,
Based on my good rolls before we start throwing down.
12.
Good grief.
all right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You know, you guys can roll without exploding once. I mean, you can choose.
I did.
Not
not to.
tonight.
I know did.
Thank you, Double D. All right,
Hey.
those of you who rolled ridiculously well on your notice, so I think that's Amian and Cletus. You notice there are 7 of them specifically, and when you take a look, you realize there's something really, really off about these people. You see them kind of like mindlessly crawling, almost trying to climb up the sides of the trees itself, and they're kind of like lashing out with like knives and hands and other random weapons that they might have. But you realize that they're wearing some kind of mask or something. Like their heads are just bigger than they should be. Like they're a little bit larger, and there's some sort of like kind of leathery, weird mask, like this strange exaggeration of the smile, like which is just bigger and gaping, these huge eyes, blank cloth sacks, these misshapen heads, and they've got these like bestial grimaces, and you can see all these weird scars, but they're still dressed like normal Holler folk. If you pass the notice test and you want to, like, I would say I'll just give it to you. You guys rolled so well. I'll just give it to you. You might have heard rumors at some point when you were asking about Almarine or about Terrapin Corner, something called meat yardians. These sort of distorted humans. They just have this sort of quality to them. They're I don't know. They're kind of cryptids. They're kind of not. No one really knows the source of them specifically, but the faces themselves are just like bizarre and crazy, and they tend to be relatively aggressive or weird.
And there's 7 of them?
There's 7 of them at the base of this tree going after this guy that's like kind of climbed up into the tree, it looks like.
And so we know them to be like hostile. Are they like known to be particularly like dangerous or hard to kill, or?
Not that you know of. Nothing like, there's nothing in terms of like you can't think of anything in terms of like supernatural magic type of thing. Like they're as easily killable as an average person, you would suspect.
Okay. I'll say to them, like, I can slick back and tell the rest. It looks like this guy's being attacked, and
yeah, man. And these guys don't see us yet. I say we go crack. Let's go get them tater heads. Make taters. Kick them tater heads in the head.
and then if we're are we still like visible to Louisa and?
No, there's a lot of fog.
Doggett?
There's a ton of fog. So, but you can do like what you said and like slink back and let them know. They're probably 50 feet away or so.
Yeah, I'll say like probably gonna be a brawl. There's 7 meat yardians swarming on this one guy.
Tater heads.
Tater heads.
I'm sorry. What did you say there were 7 of?
The weird looking meat people. They're dangerous. I think we're gonna beat them up.
Oh,
All right. Y'all have
Let's
fun
go.
with that. Oh, we're coming too.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can stay here if you want, but I'm gonna go provide some assistance.
Don't do it.
Okay, which of you are sneaking up? Like, those of you who passed your stealth test, you can just sneak up. That's fine.
I'll give it a best effort.
Yeah, we'll see how the sneaking goes.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm looking for a copy of one of these. See if I have
I
an
got
image
a
to show.
4. It's technically a pass.
Got a 5, also technically a pass.
Oh, here we go. I got one. I just want to get one for the picture for this stream here really fast. Whee! It's way bigger than I meant. There we go. That
Oh boy.
Taterhead.
that is what a meat
Oh,
yard
boy.
is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh.
Where's it at?
I just put it on the
On
put
the
on the
stream.
overlay. If you look on the stream.
Oh,
All right. I'll also pull you guys over to a map too. All right. Enhance.
Pants.
All right. So let's go ahead and just do.
Oh, hey. Look
Well-
at that map.
Let's do a little. What's it called?
Nobody should still have any wounds or anything.
Yeah, you guys should.
Over.
You guys are all healed. Don't worry about wounds or anything. If you took any fatigue when you crossed the river, you still have that, but you won't have any wounds from last session or anything like that.
Technically, I would have passed without my arbitrarily imposed -2. So
Gotcha. All right. Let me.
I don't know why some people's token look like they've got some stuff still.
Yeah, I
on.
cleared the wound off my sheet, but it's just
Damn.
Yeah, it could just be glitchy. Don't worry about it. If it's not affecting your roll, we don't really care. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to. All right. So you guys are those of you who are sneaking up. I believe Cletus,
Oh.
Double D, and Amian were all gonna move up a bit. Is that right?
yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Double D, Cletus, go ahead and move yourselves to where you wanna go.
Yeah, that bramble thing there. How much obstruction is it?
You could get through it. It's one of those like difficult terrain type of deals. You just move a little bit more slowly.
I'll sneak in around back up. No, I'm gonna go around the far away. Pincer attack. P formations.
All right, go ahead and we'll call this a kind of a surprise attack for Double D. So Double D, roll, get the drop.
How do I do that?
No, just you get the drop on him. So it's
Oh.
+4 to attack, +4 to damage.
All right. It's gonna be 2
tokens-
punch. 1, 2.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Just do your normal turn.
Are the tokens different looking just for variety, or are those people like different?
I mean, they all look a little different, but they're for something for myself, so I know because there's slightly different stats on the 2 different versions of them.
Okay.
All right. Fist number 1, 14. Fist number 2, 7.
Both are good. 14 and 7 are both good.
Nice. That's the thing. Oh, yeah. +4 go to damage too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First fist, 8.
Okay.
Second fist, I gotta do math. 15.
Okay, well, that'll kill him. So go ahead and describe how you take him out.
Put it right between the shoulder blades, right in the back, and when it goes, his head goes back up, cut the back of his head, and just boop, right on off.
Okay. All right. Then Cletus, you sneak up as well. You've got one. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay. And then we'll add in another +4 for the attack.
I forgot. I always
Is
forget
that-
about it. I always forget about that. Okay.
Is it 14 hit?
Yes, very much so. It's also a raise. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so good.
You're gonna kill him.
So
Unless you roll the worst you've ever rolled.
nah, it's so college shot to the head, drop, all sorts of nastiness. 21 damage.
oh my gosh.
Describe your kill.
I come running in, man. Kind of leap up over some of that brush, slip in the mud a little bit, but that's okay. I come in, knee him in the back of his knee. As he comes back, Double D did the smackdown. What I do is I wrap my arm up around his head, do a DDT down.
And so 2 of them just like crumble to the ground. You hear bones crack. You see blood splatter and burst out of its strange head skin. Amian, as you try to follow their lead and sneak up, you do not get the drop as one of them turns around because you only rolled 6, right? You said 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
6.
I rolled a 7 on my notice. So this one will turn on. You can get your attack off, but you will not get the +4, unfortunately.
Okay.
You can still get the ambush attack off. That's fine.
All right. I'm gonna run in and try and stab with my knife. Let's do this. I'm gonna Benny that. $12.
12 is enough for a hit in a race. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. Raise damage. We'll click that.
Oh, dear.
Wow.
Okay. Describe
That's why you're our kin now.
describe your kill as you guys take 3 of them out on this ambush.
I think Amian just is screaming, like, he's got a tiny little knife, so he's just, like, stabbing every piece of this guy.
That is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so that ambush stuff out of the way. At this point now, I'll go to the initiative order. And so, and you guys did actually take 2 out that would have been fairly high up. All right, so one of the ones to your right, Cletus, at the base of this that is trying to pull this man who's kind of clinging. You can see he's like covered in mud and debris and like, you know, strange kind of like fen, you know, different bits of like of moss and things, as the guy has clearly been under some issues. We'll turn his attention now to you instead.
Wow.
Anonymous gifter, whoever you are, thank you so much. That's very, very, very nice of you. Very, very kind. Very, very cool. Oh, I see a couple familiar names in there. Diesel Shot, Tarandon. Very nice. And other names I don't fully remember, but hey, thanks for hanging out. Okay. So one of them will come over to you, Cletus, and we'll go ahead and attempt to attack. This one's, we're going to say, has a club. It's going to come over here like some sort of wooden club. I'm just going to roll it in the system just because I have it set up. Oh, dear. That's a miss. You're able to dodge out of the way, and like you kind of just take a glancing blow from it as it comes down and splatters in the swamp mud next to you. The other one, there's another one that's kind of behind the roots there that will move over towards Double D. He'll stand right on top of the other one, or I'll put it there, and we'll swing at Double D instead. So this one's gonna say it has a knife. We'll swing it around.
Oh,
That's an 11, which looks like a raise.
ow.
As it explodes.
Oh gosh.
Oh my.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I'm rolling it in system so everyone knows I don't bullshit my rolls. I don't bullshit my rolls.
Wow.
So for chat, I just did 20 points of damage to Double D, which is good for 4 wounds plus shaken. Do you want to spend a Benny to soak that?
Yeah.
I would think so. That would be awkward if you didn't. Yeah.
So I just spend a Benny and I roll vigor.
You spend a Benny and you roll vigor. Yeah, I had 4 explosions in that roll.
That was crazy.
Oh, good God.
This game
I
is
will
crazy
say
sometimes.
I hate to be this kind of fella, but Double D ain't your pair at 8?
Yeah.
How's an 11 a race?
He got 20.
Yeah, your parry is an 8.
Is an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is an erase. Okay, so let
I
me...
mean, it's still easy to like go back and just an 18 is still probably going to be.
Well, it's the only thing that didn't explode was my raise damage, right? Because it's a D6. So it's 18 points of damage instead.
All right. That's over toughness. That's toughness 10, 8.
8 is shaken.
2.5.
Yeah, 8 is shaken. 12 is a wound. 16 is the second wound. So it's 2 wounds, right?
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna Benny the vigor test.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 6.
6 total? Okay, so
Yeah.
shaken in 1 wound then. You were able to soak
All right.
1. Okay, so it's not as bad as we thought. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see. Next up is Doggant. So Doggant, you see this other one come trudging out from behind a tree and just jabs Double D right as the other one is falling down to down to its death, it just uses the falling dead body as kind of cover and just thrusts out with this wild slash. You see a spurt of blood come out from Double D's rotund belly. What would you like to do?
Well, I was thinking do something different, but then they moved around. So maybe I'll just go up and try and shoot him.
Yeah, go for it, man. Oh, thank you there, Steven. Though you did give 300 bits, so by definition, those are for me. Sorry.
I think I see the word boost.
To me. When he says y'all, he means my meat yardians.
Man, that Steve, he's real gentle.
He really is.
Shooting. There we go. My gun wasn't set up to use my skill yet.
Griffin, we stopped doing bennies, but we did 100 bits equals a boost. So we've been doing like +1, +2s. So, because we were way too flush with bennies when we were doing bits for bennies. Way too flush.
Re-rolls.
So now it's just like a flat bonus for a roll.
I'm coming up on this guy over here.
Oh my gosh.
That stab Double D.
Okay. So you come running over to Double D. You pull out the peasant pumper, and you fire, and this thing just explodes as you hit with a 12. Roll your damage.
Do I get a raise with a 12 or?
Yeah, it's a ranged attack, so you don't actually have to be right up on him since it's a shotgun. So.
Is it a raise with 12 or not?
Yeah, because it's a range attack. You're to hit as long as you're not right on top of him. Your to hit is still 4. And so 12
nice. I wasn't sure if that went up for some. Oh wow, that went.
Oh,
I
see,
don't think you have that set up right. I don't think it should be 1 minus 3d6.
I pulled it off of the inventory.
let me check what you got. What is going?
Yeah, that's how mine is set up too. It's 1 minus 3d6.
I think it's meant to be, depending upon how close you are, it should be 1.
Yeah, it's 1.
3d6.
Right. So in this case, you're right up close to it. Roll 3d6, Dan.
Yeah. All right. Well, there goes.
Actually, roll 46 because you got a raise, so you can roll
All right.
4th.
Dang it.
Go ahead and re-roll one of those because it's
And one of them exploded, so you can roll another.
All right.
Thank you, Griffin.
Oh, Griffin is playing both sides
Okay.
here. Got
Now we're
a
at 20.
5 boosts.
Well,
There we go.
Dan, why don't you just describe the horrific nature with which you just shoot this guy in half as you do 20-something
I
damage?
assume it's just as he's stout, I might just put the shotgun right up against him and just.
So you walk right up, you put the shotgun right up against him as he's like pulling his arm back from like the stab on the Double D. You get right up, and before he's able to fully turn around with its big, ugly, meaty-looking cloth-headed face, you just put the shotgun right up there, and you make a canoe out of where his head used to be. Okay, so that is another one down, and we go to Amian. The kid goes again.
All right. There's 3 up still.
There are 3 up. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I'm run over here.
Yeah, Rudham's
And
right.
attack
Yeah.
this one.
So there's one that was on Cletus, took a failed swing with a club at him. You step over to the side, try to finish them
Yep.
all. Go for it. Now you should get a gang up bonus for this. Just roll it normal. We'll see if it does it automatically. If not, we can add it.
Okay. 7. What's the gain up bonus supposed to be?
Gang up bonus is supposed to be +1, which would give you an 8, which would make that. Are you throwing it? Or are you stabbing with it?
I'm not throwing it. It says throwing because I'm able
Okay.
to throw it.
All right, so
I'm just
then
stabbing
it's
with
not a raise then. It's not a raise.
Okay.
An 8 isn't a raise. Okay, so, but you can roll normal damage.
All right.
Yeah.
8.
Okay, that is enough to shake it, but not enough to wound it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. That is your turn. We will move over then to the other one that's behind the tree to the north by Doggint and Double D. I will charge in at Double D. And we'll say this one has a wooden club as well. I've already attacked Chuck once, so I'm going to try to spread it around a bit. Sorry, I'm moving. All right. So, yeah. Actually, no. This one only has a knife. So yes, it's going to come at you with a knife, and will swing ineffectually. It shouldn't be a -2 on that, but it's still going to miss. As it comes up and swings, you're able to take the butt of the shotgun, the kind of glancing blow, and shoot the knife off to the side. Doesn't actually hit. One of the other Meatyardians that's dead would have gone now. And now the final Meatyardian who is behind Amian, will step up to Amian and make an attack on old Amian Row, something like that. And then we'll say this one's got a club. That's so loud. Oh my god. I'll Benny it. Why not? I'll use one of my Bennies to roll again. One's so terrible. Getting so close. So that's a 1 and then a 2. Both will miss. And so you are in the clear, Amian. Your double D comes to you. You pass your spirit test to unshake. You're up.
Hey, yeah, but there's one right here next to me. I'm just going to go in and just, swing twice.
Okay.
Okay, that's right. This one.
Oh,
all right.
Thanks, John. John Maxsuda gave a little bit for both of us.
Someone keep track of how many boosts we got?
Yeah, we got 11.
You guys got none. I have 14 complications.
I'm going to use 1 on this roll.
Okay.
All right. Got it.
It is going to be 10 to hit.
Yeah. Let me double check to make sure that's not. That is a raise.
All right.
On this one.
So damage on that is that right there. Oh, I got enough dice. Shit. I gotta open up a calculator. So many dice.
I feel like Chuck is low key taunting me right now. Hey, Tracy. Yeah, the Peasant Pumper is just the best name for a gun I have ever heard. Whoever came up with it, Chef's Kiss, whatever the thing is, so good.
26. Does that kill it?
Yeah. Go ahead and describe how you do it.
Oh,
Meta Horse, thank you.
I punch him in the mouth real hard. And I grab his tongue. I pull it out and I beat him with it.
You punch his face. You're just right in through the cheek. You just burst through the dermis, and you just yank the tongue out from the side, and you just start whipping him with it as he falls to the ground, dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Next up, Louisa. It is your turn. There are 2 that are on your pals, Cletus and Amian.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing anything in that direction. Louisa is going to sneak up behind Double D.
Okay.
And while he
Do you
seems
go?
to be
Do you go? Boop.
Yeah, I feel like he's covered in a lot of blood and viscera and those kinds of things, and so she's
got a tongue in his hand.
Kind of rubbing her hands together, and is just kind of really trying to find a clean area to kind of lay on hands a bit.
I pull my shirt up in the back. There you go. It's clean.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
As clean as I get.
So much hair. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
It's a veritable forest. Oh my goodness.
Now hurt the fleas. I done named them all.
All right. That is that's an 8. So it's just a. Oh wait, 8. It's a 10 because I am now healer.
Yeah.
Because I picked that up last time. So the roll is a 10. So it's a raise. Which means that is 2 wounds gone.
Nice. Thank you.
Bright light comes out from your hands. The wounds begin to stitch themselves up. All you have left now is the blood.
Puts the shirt back down and sort of wipes her fingers off.
You're a good doctor. You done good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Cletus, Round ends on you, man. What do you want to do?
All right. Well, I mean, I figure I may as well just make done with the one that's already in front of me. His axe kind of stuck down in the ground a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And he's already shaking too. The one right in front of you.
Yeah, I figured while he's kind of doubled over, I'm just going to try and like do an axe kick on top of his head.
Okay. Okay.
Basically called shot in his head.
Oh God.
10? Is that a raise?
Let me double check. Yeah, it is.
Oh man, that's great. I love that.
This has a toughness of 7, I think. Yeah, 7.
I'll do 17.
Well, that's that'll do it. Describe
I'm
your
axe
kill.
kick top of his head down into the shaft of the axe that was already down in the ground. They just
Okay. So you just kick his head down into the axe in the ground, and his head just sort of splits, and then the body just kind of crumples, but its ass is still hanging up in the air. It's basically like an upside down V all of a sudden. All right.
If only I knew Namaste, I would say it.
It's doing a downward dog pose. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's go to the top of the next round. Luisa, it comes back to you.
Oh, goodness.
There's only, I think, one of them left. One of them is left. Just one of them on Amian is the only one that's left.
Can I get to Amian?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Stomp over top of people.
Amian, what do you got a knife that you're poking with?
Yep.
All right, so Amian is going to attempt to smite your knife.
Ooh.
So let's see how that goes. That is a 10 on the roll, which is a raise, so that your knife is going to get a +4. So your knife is now glowing.
Very nice.
All right.
And it is your turn, Amian. So what are you going to do with it?
I'm going to use it.
Okay,
and,
man.
I want to like run at him with the knife and trying to like push him into the tree and maybe impale him on any like branch that's just kind of sticking out.
Absolutely,
Yay.
man. Sounds
You get
awesome.
him, AC.
All
You
right.
do it.
Easy.
Bleeding you.
Amian Cletus.
Yep.
It's a 7 hit.
They don't add together. It's one or the other. Is it? How are you getting it? Oh, that's right. From the smite. I'm sorry. I'm completely dumb. 7
That's the
will.
damage.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7. Melissa, is that to
Oh,
hit?
is it only to? Is it to hit or is it to damage?
Sorry, 1 second. It is 2 damage.
Okay, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The-
sorry about
The
in that
3
case, I'm just gonna Benny it.
okay, yeah. Go ahead and Benny. There you go.
Okay.
4.
You need to
So
take
that'd be
that
a
down to
10.
which
Yeah,
is raised.
it's 10.
Still. This one actually isn't a raise.
Oh, maybe not. It might
There's
be a
the
different
two different ones. This one's got a 7 toughness, so a 10.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me cycle it back. That's a parry we're looking at because it's to attack. So yes, it is a raise. I apologize. So it's a raise. So
Okay.
just go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. Raise damage, then 4 modifier on this one.
Oh,
Guys
All right.
are insane.
Wow.
It's insane. 20 points of damage. Describe how you finish off this last meat yardie
Yeah.
in there, Amian.
So he screams. He like braces his knife on his shoulder like this and just runs him through and tries to impale him on a branch on the tree that's sticking out.
And so it does that classic, like, as your knife goes, your bright knife goes through, you feel like it's like kind of smushy as it goes through his body, and then you feel the hardness of the tree on the other side, and then it does the classic, as if it's still kind of a little bit of life left in it, and then kind of shudders, and then comes to a stop, and you're able to grab your knife out, and it falls back to the ground. Okay. So all of them, all of these meat yardians appear to have been defeated. You look around, you look at them, just kind of kick some heads and bodies. None of them are moving anymore. And they definitely all appear like they're down. And you hear the guy who was kind of hiding up in the tree. His leg was kind of getting pulled at.
Thank you. Thank you.
And he just falls out of the branch and goes splatting into the sort of the mud in the ground as he kind of just passes out, which seems presumably from exhaustion. Louisa, you're a healer. When you see the man on the ground, kind of older-ish, you would say. It's certainly not a young man, but not like an elderly man. But you can tell that he's been through some things. Like his arm looks to be terribly broken in multiple places, and something's wrong with his, like the side of his face. You're not sure if it's like a stroke type of thing where like half of his face just appears sort of just like kind of distorted, like he went through maybe like a Bell's palsy or something like that, to the point where he kind of looks, insensitive to say, but he looks fairly ugly, but he is breathing. He's wounded. He's just kind of fallen to the ground.
Like wounded as in literally like I could try to heal him wounded?
That would certainly, that would certainly help his wounds for sure. Like I would say the broken arm is the ugly thing. Like that was just like, me describing the ugly hindrance, right?
Yeah,
and like so he's got hindrances that he's dealing with, but you can heal his wounds and get him back up and conscious. Yeah.
I can do some non-magical stuff.
Yeah.
Try to anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead and just roll a quick test.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna put Amian up on my shoulders.
Okay.
Woo! Hey, look what this kid done.
He done did it. Some goddamn
I stabbed him, and then I stabbed him.
Okay.
That's a 5 on the healing roll.
Yeah, that's enough. So as you're down on the ground, you're giving him some basic attention, and he kind of comes to after a few moments, and he's
where am I? Who are you? You're like an angel.
he kind of like his good arm kind of reaches up. He's kind of like
Angels, all of y'all are angels.
Just happened to be in the right place at the right time and heard your cries for help and thought maybe we could provide some help. And I do believe my companions here are quite the strong group of folks that if you ever needed rescuing, these are the ones that you would want to have.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Y'all are a sight for sore eyes. I'd say thank you, every one of you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Might deign to ask you where have you heading to or heading from that you found yourself in this here predicament?
He gets up as he's saying thank you, and you're asking him questions like, oh, yes, ma'am. And he's kind of coming over and he's like, with his good hand, he's like trying to shake her. He's like, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, young man. Thank you. As he comes up to Amian, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. These all I got myself a cranberry farm. A little up ways there, and they were kind of chasing me down. And they just kind of came out of the fog, You're used to dealing with things around here, but this is where these things are. Kind of kicks one of them. Well, good and they ugly. Yeah, we call them meat yardians because they got. I don't know why this is what some folks call them around here, but I was just minding my own business, taking care of my farm. It's a lot harder and dangerous here since Almarine fell, so, Any y'all, thank you so much. What are you all doing out here? You're in the darn spit of nowhere right now.
Well, do we think we could walk you back to your farm and maybe we could conversate while we are making sure you get home safely?
Yeah, I suppose I don't want to put y'all out for that. Y'all done more than enough. I mean, if you got somewhere to be, I don't need to keep you. I'm on my way back, and I can return the favor if y'all want to. If y'all tired for the eve, I ain't got much, but it's the roof. If y'all want to.
Better than mud.
No, we got a lot of mud over there. We got a lot
Roofs are nice, though.
Man, I love roofs.
Yeah, always appreciative of roofs. And Louis will kind of look at Cletus and be like, You like being under them and on top of them sometimes. They are quite useful to you, are they not?
Yeah.
I never met folk who were so conversational about roofs before. Y'all roofers or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah? Well, yeah, I mean, if y'all are trying to rebuild Almarine, it's too late for that. It's all flattened down and such. You might be able to find some scrap if you're looking for it. And at that point, he kind of looks over towards Cletus. I met you before, big fella. You got a disposition about you that's hard to forget, I think.
I mean, maybe I ain't been back here since the whole Almarine, the whole thing, and it just went bad. And I'm not going to lie to you. I got out of there alive, and I ain't been back for a spell.
You were there when the sinkhole went off?
It was nasty.
I lost my wife when that sinkhole went off. It was more nasty, and yeah, demons coming up out of the ground, flying through the sky.
Yeah, man, they had them wing ones what look like bats, and some other ones look like walking hills practically. It was just...
One of them big hill ones came square through my wall, and that's what took my wife out. Yep. He kind of just trails off. Yeah. That's a shame. She was a good wife.
What was the name of your wife, if we could ask?
My wife?
Hmm?
Oh, Sandra. Oh, proper introductions. I'm Irvin. Irvin Staten. Previously Almarine. Now I am on my own.
I'm Amian.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, son. Now, y'all, what y'all doing out here?
We're making our way over to. I'm about to say, Amian's about to say asylum, then it catches himself a little bit. Says what was the name of that town that was right next to it? The
Terrapins.
Terrapins. Yeah. We're heading over to Terrapins.
Y'all going to Terrapins and you taking long way there. Would you cross the... You all coming from east? You coming from Hogback? Where y'all coming from?
Here and there. We're a Mandarin folk.
I'm just saying, most folk don't come down here to get up to Terrapin. They're safer routes than here, I suppose.
Kind of wanted to go by Almarine.
There ain't nothing of that place left. No, nothing at all. Only a few of us scattered about here and there. A couple folks over in Terrapin you might see, and a couple, well, they went elsewhere. All right, well, come on. If you all want a place to stay for the eve, I can go ahead and oblige that. At least I could do for my saviors like that. Oh, that's a good one right there. Oh, baby. Ugh. And
Much appreciated.
Kind of tweets.
Before we leave, Amian's super curious in these corpses of these things because they're different than anything we thought before. So he kind of wants to look them over and see if he can discern anything from them, they used to be people or something.
Yeah, roll a notice test.
$10.
So they definitely, you get the sense that they definitely were people at some point. But the heads are like these big old, masks is the best term for it, but it's not like you're pulling them back and revealing Scooby-Doo style or something like that. It's just some sort of malformation to the head, right? And it almost looks not quite the same. But you can see that the heads themselves, it looks like they're supposed to be human, they're supposed to have that reflection of humanity, but in this sort of like hideous, exaggerated state of it. It just looks not quite right. The mouth is too wide. The eyes are too dark and beady. The nose is sort of distended. The skin kind of sags and hangs in ways that doesn't seem exactly right.
It's like somebody made people from description, not from like sight.
Something like that. Yeah, it's just very, very odd, and even just kind of messing around with it is a little uncomfortable. Like as you start kind of like as you look a little bit more closely at this, the fog clears for a moment. It's just like, oh goodness. But you're able to kind of hold back the vomit there for a second. But yeah, it looks a little odd.
Okay.
Anyone else doing anything?
Well, if he already looked over him, it's good enough.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate y'all. Like I said, y'all are heroes. Come on now. Let's go. Oh, man. Painful. It's painful.
And he just starts kind of like limping away, kind of holding on to his arm a bit, kind of gets one of his like a strap, like a strap of like cloth, kind of makes his own little sling for his broken arm. And he's like, oh, this way. You see, as he's walking, he's kind of limping too. Like you can tell, like his right of his legs don't look quite right either. But he leads you to a place that, it's maybe 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away, but you're like kind of wading through like bog. Like it's like you feel your like half your body, like your legs, it's up to your waist. Amy, it's probably a little bit higher for you. And you can definitely tell as you look around, like, yeah, this looks like a cranberry bog farm for sure. Like you can tell it has this sort of look to it. But you can also tell like it's pretty rancid. Like as you start wading through here, it's like your nostrils are kind of being sort of assaulted in some way. Like it's like, oh, it's just something smells like horrible and foul. You see like on a relatively dry, and that is a huge use of relative there. There does appear to be a fairly nasty looking shack. Looks to be like repurposed wood. And like other random like bits of like sheet metal or something like that that's kind of creating what is little more than like a lean-to. And he kind of looks back. Well, like I said, it ain't much, but we can probably all fit in there just fine. So
Take a look at that roof.
you take a look
Checks
at
the box, I guess.
It's leaking here and here and over there, and I certainly need to put another couple shingles up there. But
It's more of a roof than out there.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
you
right.
got in the shingles, I'll climb up, put some up for you.
He's great on the roof.
Maybe in the morning. It's getting kind of dark, and you probably want to get inside for the night. It's dangerous out here.
All right. Well, before I do that, it is dangerous out here. I ain't got much to really share, nothing, but it's a piss poor replacement. But I'm gonna go set this up outside your door for you. I'm gonna bequeath him my bear trap.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Appreciate
I just want to see where them tater heads get stuck in it. But I do bequeath it.
tater head. Never heard him call that before. That's funny.
Because their head is all big and misshapen, like a tater.
I never had a tater. What's a tater?
Potatoes.
Oh, that's right.
Boy, imagine stew or stew.
Yeah, no, too many carbs.
All right.
I realize it could be so choosy out here.
Hey, you know we have to rescue him, get to a place where he can eat taters, right?
He's trying nothing else.
Okay. Well, we got a mission, but on the exodus of that mission, we got to rescue this man, feed him a tater.
Hey,
Owe him that much. I may have lost him his wife by being too dilly-dally, but I'll get him a tater.
We
Yeah,
can look
you-
Fair
around
exchange,
Next
right?
best thing.
hey,
It's a fair trade.
it. Lisa will try to make everyone some food.
Okay. Go ahead and make you can just do it. That's fine. We don't have to roll it. We're at the end. Okay. So you all set up. You got up your little trap on the outside. There's just enough room for everyone to basically lay down on the floor underneath the roof. A few of you, unfortunately, are getting dripped on from time to time. You hear the sounds of like a blight storm, like rushing over here and there, and it kind of shakes the walls a bit. And you're like, "Don't y'all worry about that, none. They'll be fine. They're sturdy. They don't look great, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's okay." And like summertime in the middle of the night, why don't all of you go ahead and roll notice tests at -2?
-2. You say.
Because you're kind of sleeping, basically.
Yeah.
We aren't noticing nothing.
Okay. Anyone pass?
3.
Sorry, 1 second. I was looking at my danger sense just to see if that would come into play or not. I don't know that it will. I'm rolling a 10.
Okay. Louisa, sometime in the middle of the night, you hear the sound of the bear trap going off.
It's the trap. It's the trap. Wake up, everybody. Trap went off.
Beavers and ducks.
It's Cletus. It worked. There's someone out there.
Cletus, you open the door and you see just kind of like stumbling down, like not face first into the trap, but you can see Irving Staten is one of his legs is just like chomped on by the bear trap, and he's kind of like face down in the mud.
Oh no!
I kind of figured this would happen, but I didn't want to say anything.
As you guys are standing around in the dark, blight storm rolling and thundering here and there, you look out and about maybe 15 feet away, you see what looks like a creature that's maybe about 10 feet long. It's got hooves, legs, horns, like a giant, massive stag. And it kind of rears up as if it's on like 2 legs. And it's beginning to starts walking in your all direction.
I don't want anything you're selling.
Everybody make a let's start with an agility, like I don't know, like a dodge, athletics. We'll just do athletics.
Oh, good.
And call out your numbers.
Benny and that.
I want to use my last Benny of the night.
Yeah, this is the last roll.
I just used my last Benny.
And we do have plenty of boosts.
15.
Plenty of boosts.
Got 6.
Okay.
10.
10.
We
Okay.
have 14.
14.
Me and
I got
Doug
4
get the
with
hell
a
out the
boost.
way.
I'm don't mess around.
Okay, so Amian, you have a 4. Anyone get lower than a 4?
Yeah.
You watch as this thing, as it's standing up like 10 feet tall on its hind legs, which is like, it's like half ape, half like elk with these massive antlers. And it takes a couple steps, slams, and then just charges at the group. You all just kind of scatter, dive out of the way as this thing's moving. Amian, however, is the slowest. And you watch as it looks like it's about to smash him right into the wall. But as it contacts him, as you see that the antlers just like look like they're about to impale right into Amian's belly, you just watch as that entire massive creature just seems to just slip impossibly into Amian's torso. No blood, no viscera. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. We'll pick up on that next time. As it seems...
She's got that, brother. God dang it.
I think he snuck inside that boy's belly button.
You did.
God, I didn't know it was so roomy.
His mama not died that night, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Got something for that, Louisa?
Let me check my powers. Do I have any?
Yeah, Amian, go ahead and roll a spirit test, by the way.
I have a lot of that.
Okay. That's that's good.
5.
Okay. And I'll tell you what happens with that roll next time. But I realize I'm gonna have him do it now because I used all your bennies. So I'm just gonna wait till the end.
We
you do
have
at the start.
boosts for days.
Too
for
late.
next
Sorry.
time.
Sorry. Too late. It's too late. It's a shame.
Boosts for
Already in the
days.
books.
Okay. So we'll talk about what happens with that. So it's funny because this was all basically just like 2 random encounters and stuff. I didn't want to go too fully into the act until Bert was back. But these were 2 fun random encounters with Meat Yardians and something else. We'll talk about what that something else is next time.
I'm sure it's a great thing. This is great news.
This is
nothing but good.
This is true. This
I
is
got a new friend.
one of my favorite creatures that I came across, and I just rolled it randomly. It was awesome. All right.
Is it going to make him super buff?
I mean, he already
So
is.
buff.
He already is.
I wondered about the trap, but I was like, no, we told him it's out there. Everything will be fine.
I knew it was going to be him who falls in it. Just knew it.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Okay. Why don't we want to do some closing plugs and we'll get out of here. So Chuck, what's going on with the OK this week?
Oh, snap. Wednesday on Defenders of Cobalt, we're going to be doing All Fear the Ishtar, Chapter 2, Space Pirates, playing Alien. What do we got? Thursday, we're scheduled for some Watercolors and Warriors, doing Tales from the Loop. Friday, actually, Joe is finally on to the Heart campaign. So we're playing some Heart. Joe's running that. And Saturday's a double header at 1 p.m. over on Grim and Perilous Plays. We're doing more Tales from the Loop. And at 9 p.m. over on Goodman Games Official, Bert is going to be running us through some Weird Frontiers.
Fantastic. Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon, man.
Yeah, we're gonna meet on Patreon. Get comics, maps, RPG assets. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
Cool. Let's see. Well, Bert's not here. I don't know if he's got any streams going on this week, but check him out. Steam Steal and Murder on Twitch and oh my gosh, I completely forgot. Blue Magic podcast as well, which is 10 years of, I can't remember exactly how he says it, 10 years of tabletop role-playing game goodness or something like that, but Blue Magic podcast as well. And then as for us here, I don't know if Steven's running anything tomorrow night. We talked about maybe doing a one-shot. I don't know if Steven ever decided, but maybe. And then we'll be back on Friday, hopefully with our conclusion to our Regency Cthulhu one-shot, which is Winter at North Lake Manor. And Saturday, we'll be back to One Ring. Next Monday, I don't know what we're doing next Monday. We're not ready to start up Horror on the Orient Express because Matt is out of town. So I think we're going to do a one-shot of something else. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. So come hang out with us next Monday. As for Holler, 2 weeks, we'll be back and we'll see what awful things I've just put inside Joe. It'll be great. But thanks everyone to hang out tonight. Thank you for all the bits and the subs and all that nonsense. I have 3 complications I'm sitting on, so I can't wait to use those. Yeah. Oh, also, I think by next time I should actually have like the physical copy of Holler. I got my shipping, so I'm very excited. We'll see. 2 weeks shipping. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and raid someone. Let's go ahead and raid Diesel Shot. Looks like they're still playing some D&D. So follow the raid, follow them, follow us, follow everybody here. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.